Hey guys, once again, it is Wednesday. My name is Hanley and you are watching Genderless Love. Topic number 1 is, what do you think is the most polite / best way to find out if someone's part of the LGBT community? Okay, so from what I've seen, opinions vary greatly on this matter. Personally, I am for the direct approach. I mean, obviously people don't need to be rude about it, like, are you gay? But I think it's easiest if people just come out and directly ask me in a polite way, obviously. I don't like it when people make assumptions about someone's sexual orientation. So for me, I prefer if people ask me, what is your sexual orientation? Versus, are you a lesbian? Are you bisexual? Are you straight? Stuff like that, because that kind of puts an assumption on it. So I like to just throw assumptions out the window and just simply ask, what is your sexual orientation? Question numero dos. What is your favorite decade and why? I would have to say that my favorite decade is the 1960s for multiple reasons. I have this weird obsession with rights movements. I really am just fascinated by rights movements, and I'm a huge believer in equality. So in the 1960s, obviously there was the civil rights movement, and they made a lot of progress with women's rights, etc. Also, something that was really emphasized in the 1960s was anti-violence and anti-war, which is something that I greatly believe in, so I appreciate the 1960s for that. My parents both grew up in the 1960s, and they loved 60s music, especially my mom, so I grew up with a lot of 1960s music in the house, especially folk music. My mom loved Peter, Paul, and Mary, so I grew up listening to tons of Peter, Paul, and Mary, and I love Peter, Paul, and Mary. An optional little add-on for this question was to dress up in the attire of your favorite decade. I happened to dress up in tie-dye today. Let me see if I can show you that. I did not purposely do that. I just realized standing in front of a camera that I was wearing my tie-dye shirt today. I love tie-dye, so I guess that's another reason to love the 1960s. Okay, so this is my shirt that I'm wearing today. Please excuse the messy basement. I always film up against this piece of plywood here to kind of hide the messy basement, but this is where I film. Anyway, this is my tie-dye shirt that is 1960s, and it is also my favorite shirt. The third and final question for this week is, what is your favorite childhood memory? This was a question I found to be very hard because I have a lot of really nice childhood memories. I'm just going to go with the memory that popped into my mind first, which is my mom cutting my bangs. It's a really simple memory, and frankly, I hated when she cut my bangs. It was just, ugh. I think it pops into my head first just because it was a really simple memory, and despite the fact that I didn't like it, it was just nice, quiet time that I got to spend with my mom. Every so often when my bangs were getting too big, she would take me out onto the front porch and we would sit on the front steps, and she would use fingernail scissors and she would cut my bangs for me rather than taking me to a salon. So that wraps it up for this week. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions for me, please leave them in the comments below and I will be happy to answer them for you. If you enjoyed this video and would like to see more, please subscribe to Genderless Love. Also, I will be leaving the links to my personal YouTube and my personal Tumblr down in the description, as well as the links to the Tumblr and Facebook for Genderless Love. I hope you have an excellent rest of your week. Peace and love. Bye-bye.